Hello guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about marketing letters. So if you're interested, keep watching. Guys, how's everybody doing today? I have a small little chat about marketing because I get a lot of people that keep asking me how do we do our marketing, what are the things that are actually working for us. So I'm gonna show you today, give you some examples of the things that we're doing. This is gonna be very briefly. It's just going to be touching a little basis on some of the things that I like to do as marketing. So I'm going to go ahead. This is what I do on a weekly basis, guys. I send out these letters. So every week what I do is I go and I drive for dollars. I look for houses that are abandoned, houses that I feel that they need some type of work or something. And then I write down the addresses. And then once I do that, I come back home and I make a list. I look up the addresses and I look up for the owner's address. So typically what I do is I will print out these labels here, and this letter that you see here, I actually designed the entire letter. I like using the red door as my brand, so I've been doing that for a little bit already, and I just like how it looks. So when I'm sending letters, the first thing that I'm thinking about is I'm thinking about when the person is gonna be receiving this letter, are they gonna open the letter? And I have to figure out a way that is going to make the person actually look at my letter and say, "Ooh, what is this? Let me look at it." So an example that I give is I get these letters, postcards, and we will talk about postcards in a second as well, but I get these ones all the time in my mail. Okay, that's for the eye doctor. And then I get this kind, this one here, this says urgent. And then I also get this one. So you guys probably are familiar with some of these. So when I get these letters, typically I throw them away. I know I don't really pay that much attention. Even if I was an investor, you know, like when it's kind of like when you get all the newspaper with all the ads, you just grab them, you go through the letters, and boom, and you throw everything else away. So what I like to do, as an example, let's say that we receive these letters and we receive my letter, and then we receive another letter, and then you go into your mailbox, and I'm putting it like all the way in the back so it can make some sense. And here we go. So then I go into the mailbox, and let's say that I just pick this mail up. Then what you're going to do, or anybody else is gonna do, is they're gonna look at this and they're gonna say, okay, marketing, I don't need it, I don't need it, I don't need it, I don't need it. And then they're gonna see this, and then they're gonna be like, oh, what is this? Just because it looks like it's a more personal letter, it looks a little bit more interesting. So it just gives that person a curiosity to open the letter. So this is why I make these ones. It does take a longer time to make them, I know, but I think it's worth it. I have made so much money doing these letters, and I have also gotten like great response on them. So I keep doing them. And then I like art, so it just gets me my little arty side of, you know, from it. So this is why I really enjoy doing these letters. Now when I do the letters, I also imagine the person that's gonna get the letter, and I imagine them opening the letter. So in the group, there's actually a YouTube a small little YouTube videos about like 2 minutes, and it shows you how to fold a letter. So let's say that I am the seller. So I'm the seller right now, and I get the letter, and I'm like, oh, who's Joanna Salazar, and why is she sending me a letter? I also when I'm creating the labels, I make sure that it doesn't say current resident or previous resident. You know, like you get letters that it will tell you something about resident or the person living there before, you know, like things like that. So I make sure I remove that wording. I always remove it, because the moment that it says current resident, I'm not opening the envelope. Like whenever I'm receiving letters and as soon as it says current resident, I'm like, okay, it's marketing. I don't know what they're talking about. So I literally just throw it away. So I don't even open the letter. So I guess because I do that, I imagine other people probably would do things like that as well. So what I do is I remove that. It'll have my name. It will have the label, and then that's it. Then when I open the letter and I put the letter inside, I also imagine them opening, like how they're going to open it. So on this one, I'm using color paper. You can use white paper, you can use the yellow paper, whatever you like. I just use different colors all the time. So what I do is I imagine them grabbing the letter and then opening them. And then when it's open, they're going to lift up like this. So on the video, you will see that how you fold this letter. So it's like a 3-piece folding letter. And then the other thing is that I'm gonna have to make you guys another video where it actually shows you how to make this letter. Because when I'm driving for dollars in the Memphis market, I'm able to pick up 50, 60, up to 100 properties like this, because we have a lot of abandoned houses. And imagine me writing this guy 100 times. I'm gonna be there all day. I did do it at the beginning when I started wholesaling. I remember I would sit there and write letter by letter by letter by letter. But the amount of letters that I was sending at that time was a lot less. However, you don't want to spend all day writing these letters out. So what I would do is I will make you guys another video and show you exactly how to get this done. Now, when we're sending the letters, I am when I'm writing the letter, I guess I would say, I think about the person that is receiving. Like back in the days, we used to be very personal with our letters. We would write like, hey, how are you? You know, like an actual like letter. It's not a very formal letter what I'm doing here. It's more like, hey, you know, this is my name. This is what I do. I was driving by and I'm interested in buying. So what I do is, for example, on this one, I'm gonna read you guys what the letter says. So Scott is receiving this letter and he's like, okay, who's Joanna? What does she want? And then the letter says, hello, Scott. My name is Joanna Salazar and I buy houses here in Memphis. I was driving by the Glenview area with my fiance and saw your house, and I thought I would reach out to you by writing this letter and ask if you may be interested in selling. I buy houses as is and can close quickly once we agree to something. If you are interested, please give me a call at 901-480-2309. I can be reached at any time. I hope we can strike a deal on your property. I look forward in talking to you. Sincerely, Joanna. And I sign. And then I put on this one, I put PS, the house on 4125 Willow View. So that's what I said on the letter. So notice that when I'm sending the letters, because you can actually create these letters like by yourself and you can put the wording that you like. So for example, on this one, I'm saying, hey, and I'm also introducing myself. I'm saying, I am Joanna and I buy houses here in Memphis. So that's what I do. And then I tell them what I was doing, like why I even sent the letter to them. So on this one, I'm saying I was driving by the Glenview area. So like they will imagine, okay, she was driving by the Glenview area with her fiance and she saw our house and she's reaching out to us. It says, I thought I would reach out to you by writing this letter and maybe ask if you may be interested in selling. And then I'm letting them know that I buy the houses as is and can close very quickly once we agree to something. So I'm letting them know that yes, I am interested in their house, but at the same time, I'm telling them once we agree to something, because sometimes I see marketing that is being sent out sellers, and they're saying, I make you a cash offer on your property. I can make you the best cash offer, and you giving the sellers a really high expectation when you're doing that. So right here, yes, I am interested, but we gotta agree first to something, not just, I will make you the top offer. So I'm kind of like setting them up so they can understand how is this going to work. And I'm also letting them know that I'm able to pay cash for the property, and also that I can close very quickly once we agree. If we don't agree, then we can't do nothing. So I also make sure that my phone number is very clear and visible. I have the worst, terrible handwriting, guys. So, but the letters have worked, so I think it's good. But this is my actual handwriting, by the way. So I make sure that the phone number is very nice and clear. And then I say thank you. And then I also let them know which property address I'm talking about, because sometimes these sellers may have 2-3 properties and they don't know which property we're talking about then. So I want to make sure that they understand I'm talking about that specific property. And if they got more, once we get on the phone and we start the conversation, then they're going to say, oh, by the way, well, yeah, Willoughview, I'm not ready to sell that one for whatever reason they may have, but I do have this property that I'm able to sell. So, you can kind of like, once you start up the conversation, once you get the phone call, then it's your job to work that seller and figure out what is that you can do with them. The other thing that I do also add is my little red door again. And I actually drew this little red door, guys. Yeah, I like to draw. So I also put the red door again. So what I'm doing is I'm doing kind of like Nike and all those big companies. For example, like McDonald's, you see the M sign. Whatever you see an M sign, you think about McDonald's. Burger King, you see the crown and it makes you think about Burger King. So what I'm creating is like, let's say that they looked at my letter, they read it, and probably just put it on the side for now, and they were like, oh, okay. And let's say that they just driving around and they happen to see a red door, then maybe they'll remember me. And they're like, oh, red door, why does that red door remind me of something, So one of the things that I do advise is that you may want to find something that that it can be something that it can be repetitive, or that a person will see or something, and that way they would just remember. Like when I started with my red door, I actually did the red door because it means abundance. So I liked the meaning of abundance. So that's why I chose the red door, and it's been a hit since I got it. I get friends all the time that said, hey, Jojo, I was driving by and I saw a red door. I was like, oh, look, there goes Jojo's door. So now people think that all the houses that have red doors are my houses. So like, I wish. But yes, guys, so this is why I take my time to do these letters. This is the reason that that I do them the way that I do them. You guys can definitely, I will put a picture on the once we put the wording is, you can literally copy the same thing that I put, but in just edit some of the words. For example, where it says Joanna, change it to your name. You put Jonathan, Elvis, Chewy. You put, hey, my name is Chewy. Hey, my name is Angie. Hey, my name is Ariel. And just change it, and just change the phone number as well. The key here is that you have to send out your marketing. So the other thing that I also do is I send a campaign every 2 weeks. So for example, if I go and if I go and I pick up 100 properties, I'll pick up the 100 properties, and then I will recycle the same marketing again 2 weeks from then. So if I send since I'm sending this once today, I will send again to the same people in 2 weeks, and I will say, hey, I'm following up, remember me. And people are gonna remember you because they're gonna see the same letter. And I had deals that I have closed on where people have said, hey, I kept your letter from like a month ago, from 3 months ago. I have literally, guys, closed deals and never met the person. I had a couple. He was an old guy, and this was really, really cool. He actually did he sent me the letter back with the I sent a purchase and sales agreement on my last letter as well, so we'll talk about that. But he literally sent me the purchase and sales agreement signed, and he typed it up. So I was like, oh wow, this is like a really, really older person. And he signed it, and then after he signed it, we were like 3-4 days we're closing, and I haven't heard from him because the only way I was contacting him, it was through the letters. So I looked up his address, and he lived here in Memphis, and I went and I knocked on his door, and he had like signs saying like do not disturb. Like, he never came to the door, but what I did is I wrote him another letter, and I said, hey, this is Joanna, I came by to your house, we're having closing on, I don't remember what date it was, but I put on the date, please be there at this time. And I put it right there on his door, and I left. He went to the closing. I never met the guy. I don't even know what he looks like. I just knew where he lived because of I looked up his address. But that was like, wow. So yes, the letters do work. The other thing is that you have to stay consistent, and you have to send them every 2 weeks. If you want to do every 3 weeks, you can do every 3 weeks, but it's a matter of following up. Now, when I do the next video, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna break down how much they cost. I usually buy everything by bulk, so I go to Office Depot, or I go to Sam's, either way, and I buy a bunch of envelopes. I print the envelopes here at home. I will show you guys what kind of printer I use, how to make this, guys, look like literally like you wrote them. Like, if I show them to you, I don't know how good you can see them there, but I mean, I don't think anybody can tell that I didn't wrote this. So I will show you guys that out. Remember, when you are making your letters, you want to have a letter that stands out from everybody else. So if you are doing the postcards, look at all the postcards that you receive. And like, for example, like urgent notice, to me that's like urgent notice, is this the city? You know, so that's why I don't really like, I haven't even like really read them because I already know it's marketing. So if you're going to do a postcard, get a little bit more creative and make it look more personable. Like if you're sending a postcard to somebody that's far away from you or something like that. Because if you can see, they all look the same. Like everything looks the same. So just think about it, grab your mail. And what I do anytime that I'm doing my marketing, what I do is I grab my mail and then I put it together like this. And then from everything that's in here, which one am I gonna open? And that's basically how based on when I'm doing the letters, guys. So that's how I do letters. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the mailbox and get this guys delivered. If you have any questions, please ask me. I'm here for that, so you can guys ask me questions. I love questions. Just type them up. Tell me, hey, I didn't understand this part. Can you re-explain that? Whatever is that you didn't understand of what I just said. If you want ideas, if you already have a letter and you're like, oh, okay, I like my letter, but should I edit something? Post the letter here, take a picture. We all can look at it and work your letter out and see which wording is sounding like kind of too formal, I guess will be the correct wording. And then we'll take it from there, guys. I'm working on doing more videos for you guys. I know that it can get a little bit time consuming, but I already said, okay, Jojo, it's time. Let's do some videos. So I will be doing that for you guys, and I will watch YouTube videos. And then the next video that we're gonna talk about is flyers. So I'm gonna tell you guys what I do with the flyers, how I print them out, where did I put them, how do I ask permission, and all those good stuff, okay? So thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time with you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can get you guys some more content. See you guys in the next video.